The Pixel line is known for its superior photos and, more importantly, Google's artificial intelligence photo processing, which I commonly refer to as Google magic. Every time you see that little processing ring doing its job, you know that Google is casting magic spells and it's going to result in a better photo than the one that you just took. This is no different with the Pixel 5a 5G. The Pixel 5a 5G's camera comes loaded with options that are pretty easy to navigate. This is where Google, Android, Pixel always comes in the lead. The simplicity of use. They focus on delivering a great user experience, an experience without bloating up the camera with features that are designed to shock and awe us just the few times we use them and then we never use them again. This is not what we have here. Here in the Pixel 5a 5G, we only have features, functions, and buttons that we actually need and use. Does the term native Android mean anything to you? Jump down to the comments and tell me what native Android means to you. Are you for it? Are you against it? Is Samsung's One UI skin better for the user experience over native stock Android? You see most, if not all, Android devices have another layer on top of the user interface, also referred to as the UI. Get it? User interface, UI. Haha. Samsung is famous for taking Android and layering its own user interface on top of it. This gives the manufacturer more control and flexibility to brand the device as one of their own. With the Pixel 5a 5G, you can expect only features and functions that are necessary. They don't really give us any extra goodies, but let's take a look at what they do give us, and at the end of it, let's ask ourselves a question. Do we really need anything else? Before we launch into the camera, let's go ahead and remind ourselves that this device is not for everyone. But believe me that this device could be for everyone. The Pixel 5a 5G costs $449. That is a killer Google phone under $500. When we take that in, let it soak in for just a moment. Wow. This is a sweet device with some fantastic features. Most of the fantastic features I won't even be able to get into today, since today is all about the camera experience. Time to get into the camera. I know you're not here for the specs, and when it comes to a Pixel, specs have never mattered, but here they are in case you care. Or they make you feel better in some weird my megapixel is bigger than your megapixel kind of way. Now, let's get into the photos. Here are a couple right out of the pocket default point and shoot photos. I left the settings on default so we can get the best out of the box experience that we can. No edits, no adjustments other than Google's image processing. Moving on to night mode. For the best experience, you're going to want to keep this on 1x zoom, meaning no zooming in or out. If you do, be prepared to sacrifice some clarity and sharpness. Now, on to the claim to fame. Well, not so much anymore. A few years back, the Pixel 2 provided us a portrait experience that we've never seen before. But the likes of Apple, Samsung, OnePlus, and even Xiaomi have been able to compete with Google. Google is staying ahead of the game by adding some additional features on the portrait mode, and we will get into that in just a moment. After you take your portrait shot, stroll over to the edit button. We can adjust the background blur, the color focus. We can play with the new portrait lighting feature. This can really enhance the look of an image on the fly. There are some more editing settings that you can go ahead and go through and help you get the best possible picture. When taking a photo, don't be shy to edit or adjust your image to get it exactly how you envisioned it in your head. All the settings, adjustments, features, they're all there to be tools in your toolbox of creativity. So have fun and don't be afraid to break it. Which leads us right to the portrait night sight. What? Yes, that is what I said. Night sight portrait. Portrait sight night? Any way you arrange it, it delivers a photo that is out of this world. I took this photo the first night I had my Pixel. It came out amazing. Moving on to the video, the 5A is starting off at 1080 HD with some frame rate options, auto 30 and 60. Checking out the 4K settings, they've omitted the auto frame rate. We get to pick from 30 or 60 frames per second. Both options should cover me in most shooting scenarios. We got our typical slow motion and time-lapse features. Both work pretty good and come with several options to choose from. You can speed up your time-lapse time-lapse or slow down your slow-mo. Now, here is a new little feature that I think we all can take a moment to appreciate. Video stabilization. We got 3 modes here to play with. First, standard for your point and shoot scenarios. Second, locked, geared more towards things that are in the distance. Honestly, I'm surprised that this feature has not been standard for some time. Every time I would zoom in on anything, I'd have to be extra steady with my hand to make sure only slow movements, or it would look all jerky and choppy. This feature also defaults at 2x zoom. Third setting we have is the active stabilization. This works best with sports, active people, or even puppies. The fourth one we have, cinematic pan. This is of course my favorite to use. This new mode does all sorts of things. It basically creates a buttery smooth shot that is sure to impress anyone. This is designed to make you look good. This is Google Pixel magic at its best. When a video is saved, it does add the video type to the file name, which I think is pretty cool. So a big thumbs up to Google for that. If you made it this far into the video, I appreciate the time we got to spend together today. Whatever the reason was that brought you here, I hope you got a couple of the answers you were looking for. Biggest question of them all: is the Google Pixel 5a 5G worth $449? That is the easiest question I've ever answered. Based on my experience with the camera alone, this device is worth that price tag. Like, comment, subscribe, you selfish taker. That way you won't miss the next video or more of my delicious Pixel content I have planned in the next few weeks. That is all the time we have together today. Now get the out of my face. Namaste.